Welcome, guys. I'm Tokyo Paul, and today have a special guest, JP. My friend JP here has a YouTube channel. Spent many years in Japan, so I'm very curious and very excited to hear your story, JP. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I hope everybody's doing well. How have you been?
Uh, I'm I'm good. Glad it's cooling down here in Tokyo and not as hot as last week. And yeah. So
Yeah.
of course the audio today, and thank you for your question. Of course the audio today
Mm.
is for the Tokyo Live podcast, and the video will be for YouTube as in the live premiere today. Viewers, hello, and let's start the chat. Very excited and curious. Uh,
Yeah.
this is two-way chat, so JP, feel free to ask me questions anytime as well. First question, tell us about yourself. Where are you from? Of course, I know.
Okay. For the audience, I'm from Toronto, Canada. Um, Born and raised just outside of the downtown area in the suburb of Scarborough.
Scarborough, okay. Is that
Yeah.
is that you said outside Toronto, right? So that's
Yeah.
east side.
That's right. This is on the east side,
Nice.
waterfront east side. Yeah, it was kind of a rough area,
Oh,
which
okay.
is kind of where I got this attitude from.
Cool.
So, born and raised in Toronto.
Yep.
Oddly, I spent most of my adult life in Asia,
Wow.
but we'll come to that. We'll come to that in a little bit.
Hearing more about that.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, how was like growing up, in Canada, and I'm kind of curious specifically, and any Asian influences, Japanese influences?
Not Japanese, but Asian influence. Yes, Malaysia and Chinese.
Oh, like food or
Both
food? Yep.
language, food, friends.
Mm,
Especially coming from Scarborough, Toronto, has a huge Chinese population. When we shifted our work from the north area over Etobicoke over to Mississauga, once again, huge Chinese influence. It was
mm,
just everywhere.
very cool. Like I'm Chinese American, but I remember visiting Toronto. There was a giant mall, giant felt like a Chinese mall. But yeah, it's special because I didn't never been to one, not on the East Coast or Maryland area. Yeah, I don't know if you know the
In,
mall I'm referring to.
I think you're probably thinking of Pacific Mall.
Yeah, Pacific Mall.
Yeah, I used to hang out there all the time.
Cool. Wow.
There's in that area, there's actually that's the Markham area, predominantly Chinese.
Yep.
But in Toronto, there are actually 3 Chinatowns.
Oh wow.
One in the north, the Markham area that you were at. One in Central South, which is also where my girlfriend was, and I hung out there. And then the newer one, which is the larger one, which was downtown, the Spadina Strip.
How about any Japan towns or
No,
wow.
no. We actually kind of had this discussion previously.
Hmm.
There are Japanese restaurants in that. And when I was teaching in Toronto, one of the students asked me, there's Chinatown, there's Little India, you've got the Greek village, you've got, the Italian area. Why is there no Little Tokyo? Why is there no Little Japan? And I gave the laissez-faire answer as to, you're coming from the second best country in the world and going to number 10 in the world. You're just here to visit. You're not coming here to live. Why would anybody come from Japan, which is at the time was number 2 in the world, and move to Canada, which was number 10? It just doesn't make sense.
Never thought about it like that. Wow. Interesting. I was gonna ask, so if you don't mind, what made you, come to Japan? What brought you to Japan then?
Okay, we're talking about, this is my third time here.
Hmm.
So we're going to talk about the initial one first.
Yeah, yeah.
This is where the big backstory comes into play. Okay. So I'm glad you're sitting down. You got your beverage ready? Because this is
Yeah.
going to take a little bit. Cheers.
It's got some water. Oh, awesome.
But yeah, this is going to take a little bit. So I was working in IT at the time. I was a sales executive in the major accounts groups for an international company. My two primary clients were Dell and IBM.
Wow.
So when you think of a good income, throw a number at me.
Good income.
Yeah.
70,000 US dollars.
Okay, so 70,000 US, let's say 100,000 Canadian.
Hmm.
Okay, so we're going to run with that money. I was making about that much on paper. On paper, I was making about that much. The Canadian taxation rate at that level is near 55%.
No way. Oh, wow.
Okay, so 55% of that gone. You know, you've got your federal taxes, you got your pension plan, and then you've got your union dues, and they're all percentage based. Tack on top of that, at that time, they had just introduced the sales tax. They raised it from 13% to 15%
Whoa.
to 15%.
It's like 10% Tokyo or something. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's 8 and 10.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 8 and 10.
Above 13. I heard 13.
Yeah. So it's I was getting taxed to death.
You're working for
yeah, exactly. That's what they say. You know, for the first 4 months of your employment, all of that goes to the government. Then you get, you know, whatever to spend afterwards. Now, I mentioned the salary on paper, right? Have you ever heard of something called a spiff?
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've experienced it. Yeah, I've heard of it just by term.
Okay. A spiff is a gift that the vendor gives you for doing a good job. It's kind of like winning a prize. Also, at that time, the Canadian government said, and the company initialized this, if I was top salesman for the week, you know, I might get a watch. Or if I'm top salesman for the month, I might get a TV. That counts as taxable income.
What?
Right?
Yeah.
Right? That was a recent change that they had made. So my $100,000 that I was earning, minus, and that's including the spiffs, like I can't eat a watch. The TV isn't paying the rent. So I'm earning about $45,000 in cash, but I'm getting hit with a $55,000 or 55% taxation rate because of all these add-ons and stuff like that. So I'm doing all this work. I'm doing great, blah, 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 within the company, but I'm living in poverty. So at that time, between the commute there and back, it was 2 hours there, 2 hours back. So that puts me at an 11-hour day. And I'm living in poverty. I said, screw it. I'm out of here. So I started applying for jobs. And I got accepted to 2 jobs right away, one in China and one in Japan. So this is back in 1999. And the one in China, this is prior to their boom. Like they were moving up, but they haven't peaked yet. Right. So the one in China, I was keenly interested in that because I was studying Mandarin at the time. I was studying kanji. The guy from Japan turned around and said, okay, we're going to make this offer for you. We're going to provide an apartment for you. Here's the visa requirements. Get this paperwork done and you're in. And I looked at the salaries for both of them.
Yep.
And I asked about the taxation rates and stuff like that.
Yep.
I could earn as an English teacher, you know, on an annual basis, cash in hand, more than I was earning in IT.
Wow. Wow.
So the Japanese company was offering more than the Chinese company. I went with the Japanese company. And that was, I landed in the year 2000.
Wow. Where did you land, or? Yeah.
Well, it was Saitama.
Nice.
It was Saitama. I spent 7 years there from 2000 to 2007 with a 6-month break in between.
Okay. Wow. How was that 7 years? You know, from the beginning, any I'm sure like maybe, you know, surprises about culture or Saitama?
I'm not going to beat around the bush. The first 6 months were hard.
Mm.
They were really hard. You're walking around with a phrase book in your back pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, every time you want to say something to somebody, you're flipping through the phrase book. Wow. And that you've got no friends,
yeah,
no means of communication except through your boss.
Yep.
Right. So if you need something, the air conditioner gets broken or something like that, you can't call anybody because you have no Japanese ability. So you got to talk to your boss and have them do it for you.
Wow. How long would that take? Like, I guess
usually the same day.
Oh,
my boss was on call 24/7.
Wow.
So and because of the lack of friends,
yep.
The isolation is it can break you down. That's one of the reasons why people don't stay more than 1 year. You know, you're sitting there, you finish your work, you come home, you make a little bit of dinner, and then you've got 3 channels on the TV.
Yeah.
You got TBS, NHK, and what was the other one? Anyway, but yeah, you got like 3 channels on the TV.
Wow. I remember.
And it can really break you down. Like, it's tough. It's not easy. And especially when you're the only English teacher at that school. Like, it's not several English teachers that you can go out and hang out with. Like my boss and I, or him and his wife, we would go out once in a while, or they would invite us to their place to have dinner or something. Well, not us, but they would invite me to their place to have dinner. And you know, he would make dinner, try and make me comfortable. But the first 6 months, I'm telling you, wow. It is hard. It is really, really hard.
How was the food for you? I mean, was it like home, or again like a shock, or?
I wasn't really shocked. I went to a lot of restaurants the first year. I didn't, because I was in a 1K. I didn't really cook a lot at home other than soup. Or that was in the first year. The second year was different, but the first year was pretty much eating out most of the time. The big restaurants were the yakitori, yeah, chicken on a skewer. Caesarea was another big one. I would hit all the time. And then pub food.
Pub, nice.
Right.
Nice.
So,
and you mentioned your IT sales, and then you made the transition to teaching. I mean, that's different, right? Like,
yeah, it was different. Especially the mindset between Canada and Japan is very different. If a teacher looks at you the wrong way in Canada, you can get sued. Right? They're so strict, especially now, especially even like, it's even worse now. Right? It's just the wrong topic and you're getting fired. In Japan, it's very physical.
Mm.
right? The teachers have no problem going, look at your book. So when I was teaching in Japan for the first time, I was very rigid, very Canadian-like.
Mm.
You know, I was strict to the book, and the classes were boring as hell.
Mm.
We did lose students because of it. After a while, I relaxed a little bit. I learned the Japanese culture. You know, let the kids have fun while they're learning. You know, school doesn't have to be, you know, just all book and no fun. So once I learned to relax, then things started to pick up.
Mm. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
And you've been here, oh, you were in Saitam for 7 years. That's very, you know, that's something to be proud of, I would think. And uh, I know you, I feel like I
Mhm.
thought you were in Kyushu, to be honest.
I
So,
am in Kyushu. I am currently in Kyushu. We moved
it's a bird.
here in, yeah,
Yep.
we went back to Canada,
Yep.
and we were there for, I rounded to 10 years, but it's closer to 12 and a half,
Mm.
13 years. And then we came back in 2018.
Mm. Wow. What brought you back? Or,
The wife.
mm.
So what happened was, um, she, we took her to the doctor
Mm.
because she was stumbling a little bit. So we thought it was an ear problem. And they gave her some medicine for vertigo and that, but the doctor says, you know, other than that, there's nothing I can do.
Mm.
And we said, okay, she needs medical attention in her native language.
Mm.
Right. So like, if I get ill,
Mm.
I'm competent enough that I can explain it to the doctor.
Mm.
Not everybody can do that. In her condition, she needed a Japanese doctor.
Mm.
So we said, pack everything up, get a container.
Mm.
We got a, you know, a half-size container, 25-foot container, pack it up,
Wow.
get it to Japan. And I said, I don't care where I go.
Mm.
I've been pretty much all over Japan.
Mm.
I said, I don't care where I go. I would like Nagasaki. I choose the prefecture, you choose the city. And she chose Sasebo.
Wow. I've only been there once. They got burgers. Sasebo burgers.
They got the burgers, the ships, and the fireworks.
Nice. I think I remember you live streaming. Well, definitely a few times there.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I have to ask while we're on this topic of just Japan and how's your Japanese?
Um, it depends on who you ask.
Hmm.
I cannot read or write,
Hmm.
which means I cannot get my N3. My speaking ability is at N3.
Okay. Wow.
Well, at least that's what the instructor told me.
Hmm.
But she said, once I get the reading and writing down, then everything will just skyrocket.
Nice.
So, and that's one of the things, like when you're job hunting, they're going to ask you what your Japanese ability is.
Yep.
And especially when it comes to teaching, having zero ability is to your detriment.
Hmm.
They want to know that you can get by with day-to-day life.
Hmm.
You know, you know how they'll explain it to you, but you'll know how to pay the bills,
Hmm.
even though they're all written in Japanese. You'll know how to read the prices on items.
Yep.
Just the day-to-day things. And if you can get by with that, then you're pretty much a shoo-in for almost any English position.
Wow. Speaking of like N3 and your level, are you studying right now or?
Oh, hell no. I was studying for a while. It was Zoom calls like this, and it was with Asahi sponsored it, and it was with an actual school in Nagasaki. There was
Nice.
myself and 2 other students that were getting free lessons from Asahi. I did that for about 4 months, 5 months ish. And then the summer break came, and I don't know if they're going to renew the lessons or not, but it kind of doesn't matter. I already packed up the books, getting ready to move.
Wow. So but it did help a little, or
Oh, it definitely did help. Every little bit helps.
yeah.
Every little. If you're it's the same thing with anything. If you're consistent with it, you're only going to get better.
Good advice. Actually, if you don't mind, I was checking your YouTube channel. I think your most popular video with 8.9K views is your Japanese lesson books, and with a thumbnail about you getting Japanese lesson books. And
Oh, when they gave me the N2 exam sheets, and I was like, oh, no way, I'm not ready for this. Actually, I don't know why. I don't know exactly how the algorithm works. Sometimes, like, I do sumo videos, some of them do well, some of them don't do well. I did a Gundam model video, and that one shot up for I don't know whatever reason. It's a 3-hour video. Who's gonna sit there for 3 hours?
It's most popular videos, guys. Check it out.
But it's a live video, live chat. This is our chance to get to know each other and chat with each other. I do not expect anybody to sit through a 3-hour video.
Yep.
And just like, why would you do that when you can just watch an A-listed movie, like a Hollywood movie, right? It doesn't make sense to me, but people do it.
Fingers crossed. And where can viewers, reach you? Is it Instagram, or again, do you preferably just comments?
I do have Instagram, but I don't post much on there. The best way to reach me is via my YouTube channel. Just leave a comment or go to the About page. And if you have a registered account with YouTube, then you can see the click to show email address. That'll give me my YouTube email address. If you're a Patreon, I'm on Discord pretty much 24/7.
Yes.
And they are constantly in touch with me, constantly. Lots of private chats, lots of
just private chatting for free. And leave a comment, and I'm sure I'll leave a link to his Discord channel as well. So and thank you so much for your time, JP, today. It was a pleasure having this wonderful conversation with you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, and I hope to see you again soon. Facepalm. Okay, take care.
Thanks. Take care.